welcome back to part 11 of What If Naruto Went Back in Time with His Memories. Last time on Naruto What If, we had the return of Naruto after his year's journey with Jiraiya, several years' journey. He had done many different things in this version, including finally gotten control of the Nine Tails. Him and Kurama now work together. He has his Nine Tails chakra cloak. He does not have Sage of Six Paths, but he has Nine Tails. He also went out of his way to find one of the Jinchuriki he knew needed to be saved, in this case, Fu, and because of this, resulted in the death of Hidan and Kakuzu, which then brought Fu to the village, and now they have a second Jinchuriki under their belt. However, when they met up, it was at this point Naruto finally decided it was time to come clean about why everything had kind of changed at this point, why he had changed. And so we left off with him revealing to Kakashi and Jiraiya already knew, but Tsunade, who at this point did not know, and his teammates and friends Sasuke and Sakura. Two things that someone asked, three things asked in the comment section last week. One, Minato and Kushina. I was starting to have some stomach problems last week during the video, and I'm like, ooh, I need to go use the bathroom, so I need to wrap this up. Otherwise, I would have brought up the Kushina Minato thing. Long short of it, he still meets them. And if anything, it's a much better reunion than what they have in the original, because now neither of them have to put any energy into keeping Kurama in check. So they were able to have a much longer conversation. So that's one. However, the two other things that the person, I can't remember who asked, they agreed, that made sense. The two things that they found a little harder to believe was Sasuke completely giving up on Itachi, to which I basically said that Sasuke has not given up on Itachi. The fact is that with the curse mark, all of his negative emotions, all of his anger, his resentment, his jealousy, was all amped and continued to be amped, and he was slowly being corrupted by the curse mark. Even with it in place, it was still there, and therefore still having some influence on him. Add on to the fact that you didn't have the Sound Force stopping in to try to collect Sasuke, offering him power, all that. His jealousy of Naruto in the original made a lot more sense because Naruto's extreme growth was well beyond his, but because Naruto was having growth throughout this series, Sasuke was growing with him. Naruto was still the overall stronger, but the gap wasn't severe as you might think. Granted, Sasuke, it started to become more severe as time went on, but with training with Kakashi, maturing his Sharingan all the way up to the third Tomai, all that, he was definitely evened out to a certain degree. But that doesn't mean he lost his desire to defeat Itachi. He was just able to curb that with the friendships he had, and obviously now the relationship he has with Sakura. Finally, why didn't Danzo make a move? Well, A, Danzo didn't exist before in the part 1 until he was created for part 2. But B, the idea he wanted to get a hold of the Nine Tails, you'd think he'd make a play on Naruto, but he never made a play on Naruto in part 1. A much weaker Naruto at that. In fact, he never really made a play on Naruto, at least within the canon story that we see, light novels not including. He never really made a play on Naruto at all, so there's really no reason to think he'd try to make a play now. In fact, with Naruto being a perfect Jinchuriki now, there's a lot less likelihood he'd try to make a move anyway, because there's no one he has that could take him out, or like put him down. But regardless, that doesn't mean he's not plotting or scheming or whatever. It just means that he's not very hands-on in this. So that brings us now to the present. Naruto has gotten done with telling them everything that happened. He's admitted a few facts. For example, he has admitted the fact that he knew Sasuke and Sakura would get together. He knows that he knows he can't tell them that because they're not together yet. They're not married with Sarada. For some reason, I'm just going Sarada, I believe is her name. They're not married yet, or not. She's not pregnant with her yet, so he would not give that information up. But the rest of the information, the fact that Jiraiya ended up dying, the third, all that, the Otsutskis, all of that, he lets them know. And that includes also what he knows about Itachi and what happened with Itachi, because Naruto would have learned about a good chunk of that, if not all of it. And everyone is taking this in. Jiraiya and Kakashi already knows the fact. Tsunade is she's happy that he ultimately will become Hokage, assuming that everything still goes to plan, because Naruto also mentions that things have changed since my timeline. I've tried to help steer it in the right way, because at this point in the timelines, I've been using this as the analogy, but now it's just, man, things are just not working the same now. He mentions that he's been trying to help improve things, but there's also been problems, because he mentions that Orochimaru's dead. Orochimaru played a big part in the war. Now, maybe we can help avoid the war this time around entirely, but there's no guarantee. Further, and so Tsunade is able to think it over, and it now makes sense how he knew everything and how he knew he was going to be able to bring her back, and she kind of smiles about it. Sakura is taking this all in, like, this is nuts. So wait, you'll actually really become Hokage? Yep. Wait, and you said you had a son? I have a son and a daughter. That's daughter. Really? Who's the lucky girl? It's like, well, hey now, hey. But Naruto gives a grins like. However, Sasuke he's like, if you were to see us, he's kind of be like shaking. It's like, you knew everything this whole time, and you didn't tell me. You lied to me, been lying to our face all this. And Naruto's like, I hadn't lied. I just didn't tell you everything, okay? How the hell was I supposed? And he's even like, how was I supposed to tell you? You tell me the fact. You tell me what ultimately happens, because otherwise I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get myself killed, or I'm gonna end up getting Sakura killed because I go and do something stupid because I still want that man dead. And now Sasuke is just getting more serious. Sasuke, look, I understand. No, you don't. You think? And he just grabs Naruto by the collar. You think you have a right to just withhold this information from us? Something like this? How could? And Naruto now Naruto's going into Hokage mode. The like, oh yeah, at this point I've seen more and I've been around more Sasuke. So don't. Naruto just takes his hand and firmly but gently, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. How do I go about telling you something like that? And Sasuke's like, I'm not having it right now. You and me, right? Basically, what do? Is they go to training around 7. Sasuke just wants to beat the crap out of Naruto right now for hiding all this from him. And Naruto understands it and he accepts it. And he's like, fine, let's do this. And Naruto and him, they're squaring off. They haven't seen each other in 3 years. By the way, Fu would probably be there too, because she wasn't going to go straight to the village. She was probably introduced. They met her. They said hi. She's a 7-tailed Jinchuriki, all that. And, they square off. And Sasuke's got his Sharingan blaring. And Naruto can see that. And Sharingan can have an influence on the tail beast. So Naruto's aware of this, so he's got to be careful when using Kurama's chakra. Naruto instead goes to Sage mode, and they're duking it out. Sasuke can see the Sage chakra around him, which is interesting. You would think with the Rinnegan, Nagato would have been able to see that too, but the Pain Pass couldn't apparently see the Nature chakra. But Sasuke, we know, can see chakra, at least to a similar degree, like the Byakugan. Come to think of it, I'm trying to remember who's got the better. We know that the Sharingan can in fact see chakra, like visibly see it. But we know the Byakugan can do it too. I think the Byakugan's a little better at that, but you actually have to like focus in on a target. But the Sharingan can still do it. He can see the Sage mode, the Sage chakra. He and Naruto are duking it. It's mostly just physical attacks. They're mostly just having a brawl. Naruto makes a couple clones. Sasuke, though, does the same because he can make shadow clones and actually make quite a few of them. He's not like Naruto levels. No one's Naruto levels, but he can, in fact, make quite a few clones. And so they're duking it out. Now Sasuke pulls out a sword. Naruto grabs it. He uses lightning chakra to kind of shock him. Sasuke counters back with his own lightning chakra. They're doing it. It's like, yeah, what? It's like, so what am I supposed to do now, huh? Just forgive him? Just like that? Sasuke's just yelling, telling him about what is he supposed to do, because now he knows what Itachi went through and what happened. He's got all this conflicting, like, everything is just coming in conflict all at once. And Naruto doesn't immediately have an answer. He's just being stoic. It's like, come on, answer me, dweeb! Answer me! He just throws a bunch of Naruto, just kicks him straight in the gut because he's holding Sasuke. Sasuke can't get away or make a hand sign, so he just gets him straight in the solar plexus. Sasuke goes flying, and Naruto is just walking over. This is why you were. And Sasuke is now, his anger is starting to kind of sway. It's starting to pivot, I guess this is way. Going from pivot to anger to sorrow to just what am I supposed to do? Sasuke's now just starting to tear up. So he was my brother. I've hated him I loved him and I hated him. And now you're telling me that this was his fault, that he was forced to do it? What am I supposed to do with that? What, Naruto? Naruto finally deactivates stage mode. And weirdly enough, he's not going to give he's not going to give Sasuke a hug, but Naruto just looks at him and I'm sorry for everything. I wish I could change things. I wish I had been sent back in my body so I could have prevented everything from happening, Sasuke. I wish you still had your family. I wish Itachi wasn't forced to do what he did, but he was. And I can't take that back. All I can do is let you know what happened, why it happened, and hope that you make the right decision down the road. Whatever that decision is. Because Naruto, because at this point, except for a couple things I know are going to happen, I don't know what's happening now. I know only a couple things left out there right now, and I'm worried about what happens if I change something. But all you need to know is I'm going to be right here with you, no matter every step of the way. All of us are. Kakashi Sensei, Jiraiya, Lady Tsunade. He says Lady Tsunade. He doesn't say Granny, which Tsunade's actually impressed by. And don't forget, you're not alone, and there's someone else, and you shouldn't forget. And Sasuke kind of just, because he's got tears, as I looks up, and Sakura's there, and she just gives him a hug, and she just holds him, and Sasuke just tensing up, but he's just like, he's indulged by the hug. It's like Naruto, and he just looks up at Naruto. He's still angry. He's like, I'm still pissed with you. I was like, yeah, I can't imagine you wouldn't be. But damn it, but thank you. And he helps him up, and they reconcile. Sasuke's going to be angry with him for a little bit, but they're all good. So meanwhile, people, when I asked the question last week, people did say Team 10 and Team 7 were apparently in the village. Or was it Team 8? Team 10 and Team 8 were apparently in the village at the time Naruto got back. You just didn't run into him. So I imagine Naruto would ultimately run into Hinata at some point before the Gara stuff happens. And he says hi and, talks with her. She's still nervous around him, obviously, and he just remembers how adorable it was when she got all flustered like that. And he's like, so I was thinking, if you're not doing anything, because he knows the Gara mission is coming up. I've got a mission coming up. It hasn't been announced yet, but he knows it's coming up. But I was thinking, if you weren't busy afterwards, we want to go get something to eat together? And basically, and he nods, blushes, like, is he asking me? It's like, please, and he was like, wait, easy, don't, because he remembers she passed out a lot. So he's like, don't pass out on me now. It's like, she's like, yes, I'd like that. It's like, oh, great, that's awesome. The mission's only, I know that the mission, I'll be back probably in however amount of time it took. I think it was like a week or something like that. And so, and then we'll think about where we want to go to eat and all that. Maybe we can go for a walk in the park or something. Basically, he's asking her out. She can tell straight out. This isn't him just being nice when I spend time. He's asking her out on a date. And she's like, She's a little bit more confident in his version, but still, it would be one of those things. I mean, just imagine if a guy or girl you were head over heels with when you were 14 to 16, 17. And I mean head over heels, like you were just like, oh my God, if this person asked me out, I'd be over the moon. Just imagine if that person actually came up to you and wanted to go out with you. You probably wouldn't be passing out, probably. But imagine just how over the moon you would be. I look back at high school. My high school that time was pretty decent. There was something, I didn't date at all. I wasn't really starting to date until after I got out of high school. Didn't have a girlfriend or anything like that, but shocker, the magnificent specimen that I am. But no, I look back and there's definitely I had one or two crushes, maybe two or three crushes in high school, big crushes throughout my 4 years. And then, things changed and whatever. There was one by the end of the year I still had a big crush on. And, I thought if I look back and if that person had legitimately asked me on a date, I probably would have been, again, wouldn't have passed out, but I would have been beaming. Like, I would have been like, ah. But I think we all had that person in our lives. I hope we all at least had that one person, that kind of person that really just gave you butterflies in the stomach anytime you saw him. Anyway, I digress. So, jot down memory lanes, anyone. So, the Gara mission happens, and Team 7 is sent out with Sasuke in tow. And really, to sum up the Gara mission very quickly, because really, the biggest changes you're going to have here are that Itachi encounter and them actually getting to Gara. They get to the Itachi encounter, Naruto, and hello, little brother. And so it's Itachi and Sasuke, and Naruto's wondering how Sasuke reacts. Sasuke surprisingly is stoic, and Itachi's even surprised. Like, tell me, brother, have you filled your heart with enough hate for me? Even so, you're not the one I'm interested in right now. No, you're interested in Naruto because you want the Nine-Tailed Fox. But do you really want it? And keep in mind, I believe at that point there was no one else around. Like like Zetsu wasn't there. So it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I was like, I know. And Tachi and Sasuke is like, yeah, I know. Naruto told me everything. He told you everything about what the village did, what you had to do, why you did it. I want to talk to you about this. Basically, we have shit to talk about. And Itachi is shocked. Like, how does Naruto know all this? Well, this is the second time they've interacted, and the second time Naruto has clearly shown he knows more than he should. And this is just what is going on here. And Naruto's like, yeah, Itachi, look, I know you got to try to keep us in check, but we really need to get going now. It's like, I'm afraid I can't, and I can't use the Mangekyo right now because you're not you're not Itachi. Yeah, we know you're not. When you know you're using, and they're basically just calling him out and everything. It's like, again, how do you know this? Well, we'll have to talk about that someday. But for right now, all of a sudden Sasuke just disappears and it just runs him through. As Itachi's been focusing on Naruto the whole time, he didn't realize that he just replaced him with a clone, and Sasuke runs him through with his sword. It's like you can't. You just like you say, we can't escape your eyes. You can't escape my eyes, brother. I know this is Itachi. I know this body's not yours. At least that's what Naruto says. But I also know this is the real body, not some genjutsu. And so, yeah, and so Itachi's dead. But then he's there with Kasami using the technique. It's like, everything all right, Itachi? No, there's things that need to be addressed. Point being, we get to Sasori's in Deidara. Gara's nearly, and because of that, Gara's actually not completely drained of the Shikaku at this point, I would imagine, because they're able to get through Pain, or they're able to get through Itachi quick. So Gara may have a few moments left on Shikaku. That said, they still got to wait for Guy to get done because they got to do the whole seal thing. So unfortunately, Gara would still be temporarily dead or dying. But once the seal is broken down, the barrier, and they see their opponents there, both of them are dead quick. Deidara tries to fly off, but Naruto just goes immediately into KCM 1 mode. And he's faster than the Raikage, who can move basically around light speed. So he just zips and just takes out Deidara quick as he gets Gara's body back. Because he doesn't have the 6-pass chakra yet, he really can't do much to save Gara in this case. However, because he saved Gara, immediately Chio, Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi are all there to take on Sasori, who is not prepared for all of them, even with his 100 puppets. Naruto, Sakura, like Chio goes to eventually save Gara at the end, but Naruto knows that Gara will be fine. They'll save Gara. He just goes blitzes through a lot of the puppets. Sasuke's going through there. Basically, they just destroy everything. And Sasori is taken down. Sasori tries to offer the bait about the informant. Naruto knows. Naruto's curious. Wait, Orochimaru's dead. Why would? That's right. Kabuto's still around. And sure enough, we cut to a scene of Kabuto joining the Akatsuki, the fully realized Kabuto that we have here, who's used all the DNA from everyone else. So He's um, so that's one thing going on. Ozma still gets to live because the demon brothers have been taken out. And this ultimately actually leads to a scenario where Itachi calls for Sasuke, and particularly Sasuke and Naruto. They go along with Team 7 to talk to Itachi. Now, this is happening much quicker than it did in the original, which means Obito is not going to be there to stall as Toby. In fact, Obito has a different thing going on right now. But right now, Sasuke and Naruto go. Kasame lets them pass while Sakura and Kakashi stand by. Danzo tries to put Sai on the said team, or tries to get in the elders try to get Sai on Team 7 like as a rotating member, but Tsunade, I think, really doesn't allow for that to happen. Just because, Naruto might be a Jinchuriki, but he's a perfect Jinchuriki. He's more powerful than just about everyone in the village, nearly everyone in the village. So, no, I'm not leaving him in the village, and you really don't get to enforce your will this time around. Because she knows kind of how, let's be honest, by the time they might have been great shinobi back in their day, but by the time we get to Shippuden, they are not competent people anymore. They are too old-fashioned, too old school minded. So like they aren't good at their jobs anymore. And Danzo is very about this. Naruto does lament this does mean that Sai isn't going to be around. And he wonders if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, Sai did become a friend, and this would mean he loses a friend. But is that bad? Who knows? Naruto and Sasuke both meet Itachi. And Itachi's like, how do you know everything that's happened, Naruto? Everything you said so far is the truth. You know, but I need to know how you know it. And you, Sasuke. And Naruto again explains the future, what happened, all that. Itachi laments. And he actually looks at his little brother, and he's there's no glaring anymore. There's just the brother he had back in the day. Forgive me, Sasuke, for everything I tried to foster hate because I felt that it was the best way for you to take your revenge against me, and for you to grow as an individual. I was after killing mother and father. I knew it was the only way to. I felt it was the only way to be able to give you the only purpose I felt I could give you left. And Sasuke and him are now having a moment. It's like, look, I can't say I'll ever forgive you. You killed mother, you killed father, you killed everyone. But you did it for the village because they were going to, and it was explained too, very much to Sasuke that, and this is where I think some people kind of disagree on the idea that Sasuke knows that if Sasuke knew what the Uchiha were going to do, would he still be as upset? Like, the Uchiha were going to end up killing innocent people, a lot of them, because they just felt they were marginalized. They needed to take their power back in the village. And I don't know. I feel like, especially a more matured Sasuke who hasn't had the curse mark influence, I feel like that Sasuke would be able to rationalize it better. Maybe not like 100, not agree with it, but rationalize it better. And Sasuke admittedly says, like, I'm still angry, and I'm angry at you. I'm angry at Naruto for not telling me. I'm angry for all of it for happening. But I don't want to kill you anymore. And Itachi just kind of is a little surprised. Like, I don't know what to do. And Sasuke says, so what are you going to do now, Itachi? And Itachi finally just smiles, like, truth be told, little brother. And now, I guess the question is, if Itachi had lived maybe a little bit longer, would he have taken Sasuke's eyes straight out? I mean, would he have? I don't think he was going to. He was mock going to, but I don't think he ultimately would have. And so, but Itachi just kind of like laughs and like, you're probably aware I don't have much time left. So if what you say is true, Naruto, and he just suddenly reaches, and how people in Naruto can just randomly pull an eye out, I'll never know. Just like, oh my god, just here you go. Just gives him his eyes. Take them and use them well, little brother. Bring our clan back to its glory, the glory we lost, and a glory that you can bring back again. Bring us back. Well, and then they're just like, well, what's going to happen to you? I don't have much time left. A couple days, maybe a week. So I think I'm just going to spend the rest of the time I can doing something a bit better with my life. And so he's thinking, well, what is they trying to say? Going to sabotage the Akatsuki? Who knows? And so Naruto and Itachi leave. Kasame sees Naruto and Sasuke come back. He's surprised that, wait, does that mean that Itachi? Yeah, he's gone. And maybe Itachi even just commits seppuku or something like that. Who knows? Like a ritualistic suicide. And it's like, so what? And so then I guess it's just you and me then. All you and me. And Naruto and Itachi's like Sasuke are like, look, why do you work for the Akatsuki? And Kasame gives the explanation about how he wanted a world without lies or all that. It's like, and Naruto, I can get that. But the Akatsuki's not being completely honest with you either. And Naruto explains who Obito really is. He's like, yeah, I know. That his plan ultimately is to basically put everyone in an infinite genjutsu. And subjugate them all. If that's something you really want, no free will anymore, just illusioned lies. And Kasami does think about that. It's like, it still gets my what I want. And fine, but out of respect for your teammate, let's do this another time. Besides, you need to go tell him that he's your leaders. You need to go tell Pain that he's dead, don't you? And Kasame does, admittedly. It's a good point, because it is 5-on-1, 4-on-1, roughly speaking here. All of them relatively high-level ninja. Even Kasame's not that stupid. Kasame's not even stupid. Kasame's not that stupid. It's like, maybe not. I suppose you got a point there. Another time then, brat. And so they go back. And Sasuke gets the surgery to have the eyes implanted on, get his eternal Mangekyo. Naruto, meanwhile, gets to go on his date with Hinata, and they're very happy. They're spending time together. At this point now, it's official. They're dating. It's what he's remembering the joy of dating again, because some people in marriage lose that, and you can tell because Naruto's busy as the Hokage. Him and his wife don't really go on dates anymore. And Naruto even, it's probably says to himself, I had forgotten how fun and great this was. And so the last bit we will look at today is Pain, Nagato, and Obito. Konan, Kabuto, Obito, and Konan discussing the Akatsuki and what happened, that they lost 2 members straight out looking for the 7-tails. The rumor is they were killed by the 9-tails Jinchuriki. Obito is not sure how this has happened, and he's furious, and that this needs, and how on earth that Naruto pulled this off. It's like he knew this was going to happen. And Kabuto, who obviously again is like full snake dragon, whatever you want to call him, brings up, is like the Lord of Orochimaru before he was killed mentioned something about that too, that Naruto seemed to know more than they said. Is it possible Naruto knows the future? Knows the future. How on earth would he be able to know that? There are jutsus that would allow for space-time travel. It's entirely possible. Maybe the Naruto we've met all this time has been somehow transferred to his younger body. In which case, that means he knows what's going to happen next. But with everything altered, perhaps not everything, as things have been altered. And to which Obito then goes, if what you say is true, then to capture the 9-tails is the utmost priority. If he knows the future, not only is his tail beast valuable, but Naruto himself would be valuable too. Yeah, Nagato, you will go and claim the 9-tails. I will not fail. for I am Pain. And so Pain is going after Naruto. Naruto's in the village. Jiraiya is not going to the land of rain, because the village in the rain, because there's no reason for him to. The reason he went was to spy on the Akatsuki and learn more information. But here, Naruto has given him all the information he needs, so there's no reason for that. So Jiraiya is actually hanging in the village because now they know pretty much that Pain is going to be coming, and Naruto even knows Nagato's going to be coming. And so this is where we leave part 11. I'm going to be honest, we might finish up this video in the next part. Actually, that's not true. I'm going to be going, this is one of the only times I'm going to be going into Boruto. So we're probably going to get like 2 more. Boruto, I will admit, I'll probably be glancing over and going only into like the most prudent parts of the story, i.e. things like the Jigen Ishiki fight and stuff like that. So that will be the real focus, because that's the only part I can really see mattering that much. That and maybe his relationship with Boruto. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks next time.